What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Patty Parade, and I thank you for coming here today. So real quick, before we get into today's topic, I just want to go over some channel stuff real quick. So we touched, at the end of last week, we touched on us breaking 2.5K, and that was in our first 3 weeks. We're still, within our first month of really pushing out content. We technically started the channel back on the 25th of December, but we didn't start making daily uploads until I want to say like the 9th of January. So in my heart of hearts, I still feel like the channel is brand new because I'm counting it from the start of us doing daily content as really being the start. So in under 4 weeks, we're at, oh, hold on, let me go ahead and pop this up for you guys real quick. So we'll refresh the page, make sure we're getting them live numbers, baby. So we are at 3.2K views on the channel. I figured I would be cracking 3,000 around the end of the weekend, beginning of this week. But we're almost, we're halfway to 3.5. That's insane to me. So if you guys have been checking me out for a little while and you keep coming back, thank you. Starting to see this really grow and pick up is giving me a lot of life for just keeping this up and keeping doing it. I'm absolutely loving it. I'm a person that loves having personal projects. I love anything that's going to make me need to develop a new set of skills, have to do research and homework into. So this is scratching a huge itch for me. This is knocking out a whole bunch of things that I really love and combining them. So I've been very grateful that I'm able to do this and dedicate as much time as I am into it. It's just, thank you so much, guys. I am absolutely loving doing this, and just seeing the steady growth makes me want to just keep going and going. I'm starting to work on some community tools and everything because I want to develop some stuff that's going, could potentially help the community. Because at the end of the day, that's what I'm here for. You guys. I want to do things to either entertain you or make your life better at the end of the day. That's my two goals in what we're trying to do here. So I've been working on a star system for Substats and everything, and trying to create like a gear upgrade calculator and everything, kind of tell you which pieces are going to be worth investing in, which ones aren't. I'm also working on another thing that'll kind of be like an account summary sheet and everything. So we're going to call it the raid card. But that one's going to be a little bit down the road when I have enough money to go to someone on Fiverr and be like, can you help me build a website? So that's just some stuff that we've got working on in the background right now. If you guys aren't subscribed, I would really appreciate you hitting that. We're at 77 we're at 70 subs right now. And when we reach 100, we can go ahead and set up a custom URL so that your boy can link his page without it being like, follow me at youtube.com/channel/ uppercase U, lowercase y, C3 ? Holler at your boy. That's just not as strong a sell. So trying to work on the brand a little bit. If y'all could help me out with them subs, I would super appreciate that. And we're just gonna keep working on content and everything. I'm getting a lot of feedback and a lot of love on the free to play series, so we're gonna keep churning that stuff out. I'm really enjoying it, and almost a sixth sense of enjoyment when I'm pulling these monsters that I can't use and have to put them in the bank. But that's just because I'm a masochist and I enjoy torturing myself. So I'm just forcing you guys to be a part of that. You're welcome. But let's go ahead and jump into what we're here to talk about today. So if you've been playing the game a little while, and this is geared more towards the end of early game players, you might think you're an end game player when you're actually end of early game. Are you on level 20 yet? Do you have a 3-minute team at least? Sorry, bud, you're still early game. All gacha games work pretty much on that same principle, that the game doesn't really start until you're at the end. You need to be on 20 with a good team and start working on your speed teams and really upgrading your gear. That's end game. you're not nearing endgame because you're on dungeon 17. You still have really basic gear for the most part. You are very far from being min-maxed and have probably done nothing in faction wars. We're going to be getting the tower soon, which will give more content for endgame players, and that should help a lot of people realize that they're not as far along as they believe they are. So what are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's a row of 9. Odd number choice. So we've got 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 22 6 stars. Okay. That ain't bad. But I'm now at the point of the game where I'm getting to the mid-teens to late teens of all the progression and dungeons we care about. If you're at this point, you should have long already gotten all of your affinity dungeons to 15, Minotaur to 15. All that good stuff should have been at 15 a while ago. That doesn't mean you're endgame. That's early game stuff, buddy. I'm telling you. But once you're getting to this point, it's your progression question is no longer who do I need to 6-star to progress? Because I should have, with everything I have here, I should be able to do most end game stuff. Am I going to have the fastest teams in the world? No, I'm missing the 3 royal guards that I need on this account. They're over on my free to play account because God has a fucked up sense of humor. So I'm not at the point where I'm like, okay, I just need to 6-star something and that'll get me past my next push. This point, it becomes a game of who do I need to work on? Because everyone here needs love. Some of them need love desperately. I can tell you flat out, he hasn't been touched since like my first month of the game. His gear hasn't really changed. Where's our girl? Her gear hasn't really been changed. His gear has been tweaked a little bit to give us more speed over time. Hold on, let me move over real fast. So we've got him at 207 speed. So we've put more work into Fushan than any of the other people that we've had since the start of the game. A couple of people have gone back recently and upgraded Allure, which made a huge impact on my fire team, or Fire Knight team. And one of the biggest reasons is that when I re-geared her, we put a huge focus on accuracy. That is absolutely essential for Allure, for her to do her job well. So there's been a lot of trying to figure out who needs to be worked on the most. And that's kind of what we want to dial in on this video today. Who's going to give you the most progression moving forward? That's a hard question to answer across the board because everyone's going to get hung up on different dungeons and this last little stretch before you start getting to 20. And a decent part of that is going to be your champ box and who you have. But a much bigger part of it is the few viable people you have. How decked out are they? Do you have a couple of people that are getting used across all of your dungeon teams, and then you have a couple situational monsters that swap in and out on those? You probably should. That's how most of us have our team set up early game. We don't have enough monsters for there to be a complete separate 5 units, for each dungeon. We've usually got like 2 for each dungeon, and then we're swapping those 2 out with someone from our core team for the most part. So a couple of things that will be a great investment on my account is continuing to build up my cold heart. She's going to make everything faster from this point and do that big old chunky boy damage we're looking for. But she's a recent add, so her gear is somewhat recent. So there's not a lot of immediate need to hyper focus in on her. Apothecary. This boy has barely been touched, and I can't believe we got him as fast as we did. And that's probably why we just left him after that. I'm using Apothecary in almost every one of my dungeon teams. This man should be enemy of this, or not enemy of this state. He should be one of our top 3 priorities, easy, because he is part of that core team that goes across all the dungeons. So look for your core people. Then go stare at their gear real hard. Have you been putting all your new pretty gear on your champions? Or have you been going down here and been like, oh, you know what? I like Queen here. We go ahead and throw some 6-star runes on her. And I'll use her in like 2 places. Yeah, that's fine. It's really easy in gacha games to start working on a new unit, to look through your gear or your artifacts and throw some stuff on them real fast, not realizing like, okay, you just took like the top 3 pieces of gear that you've gotten from the last 3 days and put them on a champion you're going to not look at again for another week and a half until you're like, oh yeah. One day soon, we'll have a way to search through our gear or artifacts, and you'll have a little bit of an easier time tracking those pieces down and getting those upgrades on. It's not here yet. Start trying to practice this. Pick 2 or 3 people out of your groups and focus on finding upgrades for them and them alone. Grind the dungeons that you need to for them. Go look through the gear. Go look through some champions that you're not using a whole lot right now. Look for your upgrades. Because once you're past the point to where you've got, enough of a core team to go across a few places, you should be realistically able to hit 20. There's people that can hit 20 with 3 stars. The fact that I haven't hit 20 yet with all the ones that I have says something about me. I'm going to pretend it's because I've focused so much on content creation. That's what it is. It's not because we're bad. It's not because we're bad. I haven't done a lot of gear farming. The gear farming that I've done the most in this game so far has all been event related. So I get tunnel visioned in on events a lot, and I forget to go and work on the core things that I need to strengthen and get my people up. If you haven't progressed your account in a couple of weeks and you're starting to get a little bit frustrated, well, what have you been doing? You've just been doing the events, getting that free XP scroll, dog, getting a little bit of energy. It's great stuff. Super valuable. Don't forget to work on your stuff. That's kind of the biggest things that we want to stress on. So, biggest takeaways for what we're going for here is look at your account. Find out who your core people are, or who your core people should be, and focus on their gearing alone. Maybe go back on the last 4 or 5 people you remember gearing and just check to see if there's a piece of gear that you happen to throw on one of them that could be a huge upgrade for your main people. A lot of my gear goes to people it's not supposed to because I'm bad at management. And that's really common. So keep an eye out for that. That is a huge pitfall that a lot of people fall into, and you really notice it when you get to this part of the game. Because even though you've gotten a lot of good gear, you've spread it out poorly to different places. Reconsolidate that gear and make your core boys big and strong. And then that should be a pretty solid way to get through. That's what I'm working on right now. I've got my couple of people picked out. We're working on Apothecary. And probably Skull Crusher, because Skull Crusher could be huge for us, but he hasn't had a new piece of gear since December. So we need to work on that. But definitely let me know if you guys have any specific questions. You can definitely find me on Reddit and everything. Send me a link to your chat box. Send a message about where you're stuck and what you're looking for. And I'm always happy to answer any questions at all. You can find my Reddit profile and my links and everything. So definitely check that out if you want to. But I think that'll do it for us today, guys. I appreciate y'all coming and hanging out with me. It's been your boy Petty Parade. I appreciate your face, and it's time for deuces.